Okay, so it seems like we have an update on a situation that we've been following over the past couple of days, and well, this is something to do with Erebus Grey, the VTuber who obviously got terminated from their VTuber company called bondlive. As I said, taking into consideration of all events that has occurred recently, we're announcing the termination of Erebus Grey's contract from bondlive EN. We want to thank everyone who supported her in her journey while she was with us. And obviously, yeah, a lot of people are pretty happy at the fact that she's been terminated after this one Google Doc came out from someone called Nia Mera. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. But again, obviously, yeah, there was a big exposure document which came out essentially exposing some kind of bullying and also pretending just to know people, which was incredibly weird. Now, obviously, what this person did wasn't anything like illegal or anything too outrageous. It was weird, incredibly weird and strange, and, you know, I just don't understand why someone would really do that. But again, obviously, they have decided to terminate her over that, and that's the main reason why I did cover it. And obviously, yeah, they did stuff like lying about knowing Phase Connect members. They lied about they lied about helping out with the Iron Mouse kind of charity case and the lawsuit, which obviously just isn't true. You know, they weren't involved in that at all. So again, obviously, they put out that document kind of calling that out. And well, it seems like we have another document as well, actually followed up from this, talking about someone else's experience. And this is from someone called Belkis Kamino. Now, obviously, yeah, it seems pretty interesting to see some of these tweets, because again, obviously, we need to take a lot of this information with a grain of salt, like we've taken a lot of this other information with a grain of salt as well, because again, we don't know how true a lot of these messages are. We know the messages are really easy to kind of Photoshop or inspect element or anything like that, which could also be the case. But I think that obviously we should give everyone a chance in terms of what they have to say, and you know, kind of understand it and then kind of make a kind of decision from there. But obviously, yeah, this is a document they put out saying this is an overdue defense of my character. I originally had no plans to come forward with any of the information. However, it's come to my attention that Erebus Grey of Bondline Agency has actively committed a crime against me, of which includes defamation of character and libel. They say, in my state, I must prove multiple key elements in order to bring defamation claims to court. They say, defamatory statement. The statement in question must be defamatory with intent to harm the reputation of someone in the eyes of the community or leads others to avoid them. They say, exactly. My issue is one of the people who send death threats. Belkis has done it again. She told me to be buried 6 feet under during the December-January debacle. They say publication. This statement must be communicated to at least one person other than the subject of the statements. This includes posting comments online. The first image is from her moderator. They say recent information has come out that this may be Erebus on an alt account, as 222 in the username matches her YouTube handle. While not publicly stating my name, considering death threats and Belkis have unfortunately become slightly synonymous, I am willing to assume they were referring to me, as I am currently an active member of V-Kind. They say the photo after is former IRIAM talent Zarazul talking to staff and stating point blank that I sent death threats to Erebus. The last photo is a new EAS who I'd never spoken to before messaging them about the threats. And obviously, yeah, as you can see here, I think it's hilarious that Maoshi, who got threats from people claiming to be V-Kind and nice to VTubers, went from something small to something that people admire. She isn't changing who she is. Hell, what did she post about today? A special post about her model. And obviously, these are some other DMs as well that they revealed here. And obviously, as you can see, this is like a full thread. You can see the actual group chat thing. So it doesn't seem super fake to me. But again, obviously, take everything with a grain of salt, as I said. And this seems like, yeah, them talking with Zarazul and Iriam. Obviously, they said, let's talk about back in February. Several founding streamers, including Belkis, have threatened bodily harm to Erebus Grey for one stream of hers. So they said, to put it in short terms, by someone who I prefer to leave unnamed, that you had sent a threat to Erebus, and initially I'd made the mistake of blindly believing, but the more I learn about it, I feel like I've been kind of fed lies and stupidly walked into them. So yeah, obviously it seems like Belkis seems to be having some misinformation spread about them, and obviously that is terrible. And I think some kind of advanced information about them, by the way, is they are a founding streamer of the IRIAM platform, the one that what's her name, Erebus was streaming on. They said falsity. The statement must be false. Truth is not is the absolute defense to defamation. So if a statement is true, it cannot be defamatory. I've never once communicated with Erebus Grey. I've never sent her anything. So again, obviously it seems like they have never communicated with Erebus, but they're still kind of throwing this around, which I can imagine it's pretty hard if this is true. It can suck, because obviously you've never talked to this person before, but they're spreading all of this kind of hateful stuff about you. Like, it would be so weird to find that out. They say the accuser must prove that the defendant was at fault when making the statement. I have no evidence to show Erebus actively tried to publicly show off these multiple death threats I supposedly sent. However, I find it suspicious that neither bondlive or any one of her friends/co-workers would just not post any proof if I really sent these threats out. I have attached a photo of my DMs with Erebus. Obviously, as you can see here, DMs are completely empty with Erebus. You cannot see Erebus on the search screen for Discord. Again, obviously, that is definitely interesting. And they say harm. The plaintiff/accuser must demonstrate that the defamatory statement has caused harm, such as a damage to their reputation, emotional distress, and financial loss. In some cases where they are where there are false accusations of a crime involved, harm may be presumed. They say, they shared that kind of screenshot there, saying, I am once again reusing this photo as false accusations of a crime that were written. So the part that's most important for you, the part that is probably most important for you to care is where Erebus got the original death threat from. I had taken screen recordings and chopped it up to censor it, but you can see all the screenshots with complete context here. Now they share an imager link here, obviously, talking about all of the screenshots that has happened. Again, this is pretty crazy. They said, no Snoop streams had to read TOS, and they said, may I request something from my fellow IRIAM colleagues? Something happened that made me very uncomfortable. They said, what? I will fight. They said, what happened? Please, if anyone plans to do future special paths for IRIAM streamers in the future, do not include me. So obviously, they're talking about that. So thank you for understanding. So obviously, this seems to be their conversation. So posting the uncensored version for context. Again, it's interesting. Obviously, they're talking about feeling awkward about doing a special paths thing, which I don't know what that's to do with. But obviously, I don't know. Obviously, they're saying, as you can see, there was never any mention of Erebus's name in the original conversation. Oh, okay. So they're talking about Erebus and where they think it has come from. Sorry. I simply made an edgy joke in my mind to lighten the mood and cheer up her talent who was having a bad experience with something else. That's it. There were never any remarks after that. No DMs exchanged ever. And if you want to say, well, she saw it and assumed it was about her, I can't apologize for knowledge I didn't have. I was offering advice on what to write to the talent who was having trouble, and threw in an edgy "fight me" comment, which obviously, if that's the comment that they're going off, that's pretty crazy. Again, I think in any of these situations, if you do see a message like this and you think that, oh, hey, this streamer is sending some pretty terrible stuff, you should just go and talk to them. You should go and find out whether this is true, whether you're missing some context first. But obviously, that's not what they did. They then went and spread it around, apparently, to a lot of these VTubers. They said this should go without saying. Do not send threats to anyone involved. Do not bother IRIAM staff with this, as they have nothing to do with this and have been very kind in supporting with me during this. And they say, please do not harass or pester anyone involved in anyone's communities. During times like this, please just accept the facts placed in front of you, make your own judgment call, and move on with your lives. Which, I think is a pretty decent Google document there. Obviously, again, it seems like, obviously, this is just more of like rumor spreading, bullying, and kind of lying, right? I think this just kind of adds to the whole high school drama side of this, right? Obviously, there is severe cases of defamation that could be kind of called for there, obviously, as that's how they wanted to frame the Google Doc the entire time, as like these are kind of grounds for defamation. Obviously, the only thing I think they're missing is some evidence for something. So again, obviously, if we are making Google Docs like this and saying that defamation has been done, then why not take them to court over it? I mean, surely you should, or at least talk to them behind the scenes about it. Again, I feel like that probably should be something that goes on. If you do genuinely feel like defamation has occurred there, you should, go to the court and, sue them for that. But obviously, it seems like they haven't, which obviously is very interesting. But obviously there has been a lot of support for them in the community. I was saying you shouldn't have had to constantly go through this every time something started up in this community. Hopefully proper justice will be served, and you won't have to keep defending yourself with baseless accusations. And obviously, yeah, you know, obviously this stuff, if true, if this is what Erebus is doing, it is terrible, and obviously it does have big effects on Belkus and obviously a lot of other people. Again, it just, as I said, adds to a lot of the you know, pretty strange and weird stuff that they've been doing, including obviously lying and kind of bullying. But also it now adds on the kind of like kind of rumor spreading aspect to it as well. I guess you could also say it's lying too, because again, they're lying about what they've actually done. But again, I do think it's a very interesting situation, and obviously an interesting one from a founding member or a founding streamer of kind of IRIAM US. But again, obviously that is a kind of update on the Erebus Grey situation. Again, I didn't know how serious this document was going to be. It seems like it is pretty serious, because again, it is affecting Belkus's reputation. It seems like, again, I don't know how many more people think that obviously this is real or whatever, but it is pretty interesting to see, and obviously I'm glad that they made the Google Doc talking about it and just kind of explaining what exactly is going on. But as I said, if they do genuinely feel like they have been defamed, they should go to court about it. They should take legal action, because again, you should be able to get an easy case there if that's what you believe as so much. And obviously talk to a lawyer first and find out if that is the case, because again, obviously a lot of the document was based around talking about defamation and like the legal kind of wordings of defamation. So yeah, again, if you do genuinely believe it is defamation, well, go and take them to court, because again, obviously it will definitely show them not to do something like this again. But again, obviously, as you guys know, Erebus Grey has deleted her account over on Twitter and some other places as well, and bondlive have now terminated her account too. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on, because a lot of people are also criticizing bondlive too over their professionalism and stuff, and how they are operating. So I think there's also something that is to take into account into the situation. But I feel like in the back of my mind, there's probably something a little bit more going on, which I don't know about yet, and that might come out very, very soon. But again, it is a very interesting one, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see what kind of happens with that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameSubs, use my code Kazoo, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.